Yeah, this is your hour-long lecture of what makes a rom-com, and not just a romantic comedy or a comedy that's romantic or a romance movie with humor in it. There are boundaries, there are rules. There's better definitions than what's on the internet. Google is lying to you.
And all
That's
of
all
like
I'm
those
saying.
YouTube lists. I swear to God, Miss Mojo be all over the place with what she thinks a rom-com is.
I have been arguing about Crazy Rich Asians with my coworker for weeks about it not being a rom-com.
I know. Are we?
And he's like, it's a romantic comedy. I'm like, no, it's not.
Are we doing an actual intro, or are we just fucking going? Because I know.
Oh, you're right. We
Crazy
should
Rich
do that.
Asians
Oh, hold on.
is
Let me reel it
gonna-
back. Let me reel it
is
back.
gonna throw us off.
We can get back. We can start at Crazy Rich Asians, but we gotta reel it back.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was getting ahead of myself.
I feel like everybody always has to preface, like, we're gonna have strong opinions. Are you gonna agree with everything? No. Guess what? Too bad. This is what we're saying a rom-com is.
Also, our word is law, so there is no wiggle room.
Boom.
You will agree with us, or you will get out.
Two birds, one brain, one truth. It's ours.
Oh my god. All right. Well, let me just go ahead and bulldoze through this really quickly so we can get started. My name is The Curious Alice. I'm on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram. Over there, you can't see her, but over there, it's Jessica Woot, and she's also on those things by that title. We're besties on the internet. We've never met in real life, but we're going to discuss rom-coms because that's all we watch when we hang out together on Discord.
Yeah, that's kind of one of our core things that brought us together is rom-coms and period pieces. And
yeah, I'd actually not seen a lot of rom-coms.
I'm trying.
And Jessica was truly astounded at my lack of knowledge.
I'm trying.
And I was like, I've never had a girly to watch rom-coms with. I just have had no exposure to them.
That's fair.
So I feel like up to that point, the only rom-com that I had seen by the definition that I use was probably like the Princess Diaries 2.
Yep.
And like one other movie. So I had no grasp.
This is it's the great
Bridesmaids,
enlightenment.
I don't think do we count Bridesmaids?
No, not a rom-com.
Okay, so no. Yeah, so I've seen Princess Diaries 2, specifically.
But now, look at how many you've seen now. We still have a long way to go, girl, but...
I've grown.
Can I just say also that I watched, and I don't remember all of them because I have a terrible memory, but I watched at least 5 movies this week just to refresh my memory about the movie.
Yeah.
So they're not all rom-coms that I watched, but, I watched 5 potential rom-coms this week.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I pulled up the list of like the 42 greatest rom-coms of all time, and I'm like,
smart.
already 3 of them. I'm like, no.
It is a little bit subjective. It is tonal, so it's also it's how it makes you feel. It's a gut feeling sometimes. What is a rom-com? There are kind of rules though.
I got into this argument with my coworker who is a younger man. Because he doesn't understand that there is a vibe to rom-coms, right? So the argument did start where I was discussing. I was like, oh, I watched a rom-com with Jessica this weekend. Like, I really liked it, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, yeah, a really good rom-com is Crazy Rich Asians. I was like, okay, first of all, great movie. You're right. B, not a rom-com.
It's
absolutely not a rom-com.
On the edge. Not quite tonally right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was trying to describe it to him, and I was like, first of all, it's a vibe.
Great
There
movie.
is simply a vibe. But
I loved it.
The thing that really gets me is that I'm like, it's barely a romance. They're already in love. They're already together.
Yes.
So already the romantic part for me is not there because that's behind them.
I feel like
they've fallen in love already.
It's tough. It's a tough sell with romance movies with rom-coms for me if they've already met each other. I need the meet cute. Yeah. We need to see start
the
to
meet
finish.
cute's part of the fun.
Yeah. I think there's actually like a specific, not formula, but there's a map they're supposed to follow. It's like meet, then you court, and then get, and then lose, and then get. Like it's a
yeah.
It's
there
a
has to be like that
thing.
build to the where somebody fucks up and then somebody has to fix it. Like that's
and that does happen. He loses her. There are spoilers.
There
for
is a conflict
for movies in this, but
oh yeah, we're gonna spoil left and right. Sorry. Grow up or get out.
Yeah, but for me, it feels like it leans a little bit. It's more on the drama with like some comedy sprinkled in, so more of a rom-dram.
It has
if we've
humor,
got it.
but it's not a comedy.
It's also not. A lot of times, I feel like with rom-coms, and they don't have to be, but there's a little bit of like hilarity or a little bit of unhinged, like shit's really quirky. It doesn't make sense. And this one is very grounded in reality also.
Yeah, everything seems plausible, reasonable to some extent. Yeah. And it's not there's never a moment where you're like, oh, this is just absurd. Like, there's not a moment of that in that movie. And that's
have to be,
part of it. I feel like most of them, though, there's a moment where you're just like, no sane person would make these choices.
Happen.
And that's what makes rom-coms for me. And I love Crazy Rich Asians. It is an absolutely phenomenal film. It's really great.
Oh, no, it's
But
so
I just don't feel... it doesn't have a rom-com vibe. His other argument was like, well, that one girl's funny in it. And I'm like, yeah, she's like, I'm like, she's comedic relief. He's like, yeah, comedic relief. So it's a rom-com. And I was like... Shakespeare wrote tragedies with comic reliefs in them. That is not enough to make it a comedy. Hamlet is a tragedy, and there are 2 comedic reliefs in that play.
Yes. No, it's not enough. Because that's the thing. Like, I think also can the story continue without the comedy or without the romance aspect even in it? But also for this type of movie, like the ones where you have to win over the family, they never feel like that doesn't count as rom-com for me, because the core structure is not to win the person and to date the person. Yeah. You know, like it's still kind of there because, you know, they are intertwined. Like their family must like you. It's more
comedy than romance at that point.
But like, Meet the Fockers, I wouldn't have called a rom-com anyway, but it's the same kind of get the family on your side thing. Monster-in-Law, Guess Who? These are all movies I've seen. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
No, but I trust your opinion.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding is a rom-com.
That's a great one.
Yes.
I love that movie.
And they're very similar because you still have to win over the family, but there's a lot of comedy in that one. But
also there's a lot of comedy between him and her. And that's the core piece. And we both found this definition independently online, and we're like, yes, this is where it is. Whereas like the comedic tension has to come from the main couple. Yes. There can be other romance happening, there can be other comedy happening, but if the romantic comedy tension is not coming from the main set, like if it's not funny to watch these 2 people interact and try to know each other, it's not really a rom-com. And that's why 27 Dresses is like at the top.
Perfect.
Absolutely great. She is like very resistant to him.
Benchmark.
He's just like, I'm just here to be a goof. I'm just here because I think you're beautiful and I want you to know that. And you know, there's a funny little plot that happens between them, and the whole thing is just the goofiness between the 2 of these characters, and that is it. That's the whole movie. It's incredible.
I mean, I think you're right. If once the relationship is already established, like in the way that it is in Crazy Rich Asians, there's not usually a lot of like comedy tension. At that point, then the tension is like usually uncomfortable because you're like, oh, their relationship could end right now.
Well, and the thing is the tension in Crazy Rich Asians is between her and the mom. It's not between her and him. That comes later because of the mom. And the comedic stuff is, there's not comedy about their relationship. It's comedy of like just weird shit that happens in Asian culture. Like it's not based on their coupling. Yeah. It's based on all the other shit happening around them.
It's very much a fish out of water story. And I mean, it's beautifully done, but even that, like that part wasn't done with comedy. Cuz it could be. You could see that in other rom-coms.
I don't know. I don't consider it a rom-com or a romantic comedy. It is a drama romance with humor.
No, I agree.
However, I would not attach the word comedy to that movie.
Only because...
And I will argue with the white men on the internet.
I know, but here's the thing. The reason why sometimes, and after I've thought about it and written down so many movies and realized these are all like, 90% white.
Oh, yeah.
I want to give it to Crazy Rich Asians.
That's fair.
Just because it is a beautiful movie, a beautiful representation of Asian culture. And please give us more. So it's like, hey.
Oh, dude, I want them. There's a whole bunch of books. I hope they make more. Oh, it's so good.
But I mean, like by traditional tonal rom-com standards, it doesn't quite feel that way. But
yeah, well, and another one I saw this morning was talking about The Princess Bride, and it's not a rom-com. It is a comedy. It is very funny, very quotable, and it has a romance in it. Yes. But the thing is that the comedy doesn't come between the conflict between her and him. Yeah. It's almost like their 2 characters are doing a Shakespeare play on their own, and all the other shit around them is a comedy.
And everything else, they're pretty serious. And
they're very serious.
It's the same kind of, we do get to see the meet cute, which again, one of the best in romantic history ever. Are you kidding?
It's a good one.
But we're told from the beginning also, like, their relationship is perfect, their relationship is pure, and it's a quest. It's not like the core, again, struggle and comedy isn't from their relationship with each other. Will it work? Won't it work? It's everything that they're doing to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
So it's a quest movie.
Yeah. Yes. And I also feel like, and we've definitely talked about this before, in the realm of between romance and comedy, if it was on a scale, movies can fall anywhere in between those things. It's fluid, if you would like to say.
She's fluid.
And I feel like if Princess Bride is like a far, like a left romantic, like that's its movie, all the way to the right is Bridesmaids. Like the exact opposite is Bridesmaids.
Different,
it's a big, funny movie. There's a little bit of romance.
It's a girl movie. But like the story could continue without Chris O'Dowd. And it would stay a movie.
That whole storyline with him doesn't even need to be in there.
I love it. He's adorable. But
yeah, no, it's great. It helps understand her character better. Like, it helps with her character.
Yeah.
But the main conflict is between her and the other women.
Yeah, he could have been written out and you would still have a movie.
Yeah. And I still would have liked it.
I have two things to say. First off, this is not about whether we like these specific movies or not, because there are definitely movies that I don't like that I know are rom-coms.
Oh, there are some rom-coms that I do not like.
But I think, because you were talking about, like, if you were to put the rom-com on a spectrum, like, it doesn't have to be linear, but I think of those little, the star-like maps, you know, where it, like, reaches out into different directions, and depending on what other genres are in there.
Oh, yeah, it's like a web.
Yeah,
it, like,
that's the word,
kind of floats
the webs.
Around.
But if you, in thinking of Stardust, Romancing the Stone, Fool's Gold, like, a rom-com can have action in it. But if the action outweighs... If it spikes, if that's an outlier, if it outweighs the romance and the comedy, then it changes the genre that it is. And I think there are movies that can have action and are rom-coms that still count. And that's like Mr. Right, which, again, is my favorite, with
incredible
Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick. There's so much like shooting and blood and gore, but the core thing is that he wants to be with her. His job is a problem.
That's a great film.
And also, This Means War is a rom-com.
Yes, 100%.
And they're fighting over her together, and they're still, whatever, spies or whatever the fuck they were. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Is it great? Nah. But it's a rom-com. And it's got action. Things are blowing up. There's car chases. And it
when I saw
counts.
one that was like, they said, no, I do not like Edward Scissorhands. That movie makes me so viscerally uncomfortable. The secondhand embarrassment's too much for me. Yeah. Like, I literally can't. The way it was directed, I know, whatever, y'all are into it, it's not for me.
You're not as much of a Tim Burton girly, though, either, anyway.
Was described as a rom-com, and I would have to agree. There's a weird comedic tension between the two lead characters that's funny, while also being tragically romantic, you know?
Really, with Edward Scissorhands, if you took out the romance part, and I mean, there are plenty of movies also that it's like, what is this movie about? But if you took it out, like, what is it really about? What end would they have been leading towards if that didn't happen? It's such a core structure.
That's the main point of the movie.
Yeah. It's definitely a comedy, because even, like, any type of comedy is acceptable. Quirky comedies, really weird, don't make any sense, like all too aware, kind of meta of themselves. I'm talking about 500 Days of Summer, which is a rom-com. I love it.
I hated that movie.
I love 500 Days of Summer.
I don't think I was prepared for what that movie was going to be, so I was very upset when I watched it.
They definitely, they bait and switch you, for sure.
Yeah, I did not appreciate that.
Well, they did, at least. That's one of those ones. They bait and switch you in the trailers. But then, as soon as the movie starts, because actually I watched that one like last week, so let's say, 6 movies.
Oh my God.
That I watched. I watched that again. And at the very beginning, they tell you, like, this is a story about boy meets girl, but this is not a love story between these two. Like, they're not going to work out together. And that's fine, but you still see the entire thing is about their relationship. Yeah. And I do laugh out loud at it. I think it's funny.
Oh, I remember crying over it. Yeah. I remember that.
So they don't have to end up together at the end, and it can still count.
No, we just watched one like that. What was it? What did we just watch that was like that?
I don't know.
My Sister's Wedding?
Oh, My Best Friend's Wedding. Classic rom-com. Oh, I love that movie. if that's even like, you don't even have to like the main character. They don't have to end up
together. I have a new appreciation for Julia Roberts. We started hitting the Julia Roberts rom-coms recently, and I was just like, okay, I get it. I get it now.
They're so
I
good.
understand.
She's queen for a reason, you know? Like,
yes.
There's still some we have to watch.
I'm down.
With her. But, I didn't watch Notting Hill, but I watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral. But those are kind of in the same vein. They're both very young Hugh Grant, British, because I think I even mentioned, I was like, we should watch Notting Hill maybe before we do this. We didn't. Because I couldn't.
I'm sorry, I've had a very busy week.
That's okay. I couldn't really remember. I was like, is Notting Hill like a rom-com? It's definitely a romance. And it's one of the ones that sits very high in the classic, like, romance of the 90s. Because that's the whole, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. Which is choice. Beautiful. But I was like, how funny is it actually? And then I watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral because I've never liked that movie. But it's one that I see on a lot of, like, you know, lists and things. And it does have jokes. Again, it's very British. It's not bad. But it's so British. So I'm like, it is a comedy, but it's just, you know, it's different.
Well, and what I think is interesting is the vibe change from, like, 90s rom-coms to the early 2000s. Because it's so different in it's such an interesting way, especially even just like the advertising. Like they're so clearly marketed at women, but they're both written great. There's just I feel like we've lost the human aspect of movie writing in the last 10 years.
A little bit, yeah.
Where everyone's very caricatured. It is not like, this is a believable person. Like, I could see this person on the street. You know, like, I would walk down the street and could interact with someone who would say these things to me. A lot of it feels very fake right now. So watching these older movies, these old rom-coms, I'm like, oh my god, this feels like such a real thing because it's written so well.
It's like,
and
yes and no kind of for me.
Go ahead.
Yes and no. Because, again, I just watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and I know you haven't seen that one, but it's a different kind of thing. So, like, I feel like lately they have led more into the hilarity, the kind of manic, again, whatever. But when I was watching 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Andie MacDowell, who, again, is beautiful, love her as an actress, her character is so fucking weird. And it seems like it was definitely like, this is the, you know, the male dream of what they would wish a woman would be. But it was a different thought. And she was like opinionated, but she was still very soft-spoken and reserved. And at one point she told a pretty bad joke. And the way she laughed made me visibly like, because she was like, and I was like, what the fuck is happening now? So it almost felt creepier because it's like, okay, I feel like this is what, you know, they wanted the dream of a woman to be. But 4 Weddings and a Funeral is also one that's from the man's perspective. It is Hugh Grant is the leading man, and then she's just kind of a piece.
Like a support.
Yeah. So it felt weird.
Well, this is also another thing that you and I have specified with our enjoyment of rom-coms is we enjoy the one where the leading character is the woman. We don't really...
More.
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy the movie more when the main narrative is surrounding the woman's story, and the man just kind of shows up, and you're like, who's this man? I don't mind them the other way around. It's just that I feel like the female characters are more believable to me when the story is written from their perspective.
I feel that. But
because sometimes I feel like they just start checking boxes. Because
we've
look at how cool and quirky she is.
We've talked about this a lot. Especially concerning...
We're about to have an argument.
Especially concerning Judd Apatow. But before we get into that... there are still some that I feel like I still need to watch with you, because there are some, like, kind of more dude-led ones that I do enjoy and I do think count as traditional rom-coms, and not just the Judd Apatowism of what he thinks a rom-com is. Because...
Don't get me started, dude.
She's Out of Your League is pretty good. And then Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I do absolutely love. So that's not saying that, like, you know, it can't be a raunchy comedy. It can't, you know, whatever. They can. That's fine.
What was that one we watched? It was a modern one we watched recently, and the lead, she was this little Asian girl.
Plus One.
Jess Alice. That movie. Oh my god. It was incredible.
Yeah.
That was... Bro, that's one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen. And I feel like that was from his perspective.
We got both. We got her and him.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more
I felt like
him,
it was
though.
more... Yeah, I think it was more him-centric with, like, a couple of views into her.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was more on his side. But it was good. I just really liked it. I thought it was really well done. I didn't actually expect to like it as much as I did.
No, you were like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, I was like, why are you putting this modern shit made in the last 5 years in front of me? We've been watching nothing but the early 2000s. What are you doing?
Because
it was really good.
There are
really
some good
it.
ones that have been made recently. But yeah, it's also, I guess, worth saying in that, and even with some of those, the male-led rom-coms, for the most part, like, the guy that's centered, he's got some major flaws. Not that he's completely unlikable, but a lot of the times, it's like, is he really dateable? Do I want to see these two together? And that's where I think the shift happens, where, and some of the Judd Apatow ones that we absolutely hate, Knocked Up, you know, whatever, it's like, they're not really going through a character arc. They're not getting better. So I still think they remain undateable. But then in, like, She's Out of Your League and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, like, they are still likable.
It's the Pride and Prejudice core.
Exactly. Yeah, even in Plus One, he redeems himself. He is a straight up dick for a little while in the middle there.
He has to change part of himself to, you know, he becomes better for the sake of being better, not just to win the girl back. He's like, you know what? She's right.
Yeah.
I am being a douche. I just need to change. And, you know, with that change, then things happen. And that's the Pride and Prejudice core.
It is. I did write down that I do think Pride and Prejudice is a rom-com. But I know a lot of people...
Ooh, that's a stretch.
A lot of people do not, but I think it's because they don't understand how fucking funny Jane Austen actually is.
It's so funny,
dude.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I mean, like, everyone talks about the hand scene, but I don't know if you see the TikTok edits that people make where it's like Elizabeth and Darcy just being fools together, and it's just like they cut all the sound except for the sound effects. So it's like him getting up really fast out of the chair. It's just like the of the chair. And her walking in, and it's just like the scuffing of her skirt across the floor, and that's the only sound in the video.
It's so funny.
Kills me. It's so funny, dude.
Perfect. Because rom-coms can be, again, in any era. I mean, I still think within, like, first tag, yes, it's a period piece. But it is a period piece rom-com. Also...
Yes. Because there's comedic tension between the two characters, even though it's also drama. But the thing is that the comedy of it is incredibly subtle.
Yeah.
So if you're not used to watching period dramas, you don't understand what's funny yet because you don't understand the jokes that they're making.
Yep.
But Jane Austen is so good at introducing, somehow wrote for the modern era. How the fuck did she do that? I don't understand her. That woman was beyond the reasoning of her own people. They had no idea what gift she was. But to be able to write stuff that's funny now, like to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's really funny now, is incredible to me.
I mean, literally laugh out loud for us when we watch that. We are screaming, crying, giggling, throwing up.
And then to watch Austenland, which is the rom-com, like the aggressive rom-com of it, is incredible. Austenland is 10 out of 10. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tangent about Austenland.
Go for it.
I want y'all to know that there was one. We watched this movie together, and then less than 4 hours later, we watched it again with somebody else because it was so good. And the funny thing to me is that I went on to, I Googled to look at the ratings because I was what did this get rated? Like, why have I never heard of this movie? This is incredible. And it was getting like 2 stars, 1 stars, 3.5 stars. It was like
bullshit.
Really low ratings. And I was like, who the fuck is reviewing this movie and not understanding how incredible this is? Because it perfectly captures period drama mixed with a modern girl, mixed with the Jane Austen of it all. Like, it is an Austen core film based on a book. It is based on a different book.
Oh.
Based off Jane Austen. So it's not a Jane Austen
I do
novel.
know that.
It's like a double base.
It's also, though, it's the perfect, like, what's the fucking word? Vehicle for hilarity. Because you get people acting modern in, you know, like an old-timey style setting. It's incredible.
It's so funny.
It has Jennifer Coolidge.
Always Always. There better be fucking 5 stars if Jennifer Coolidge is in that movie.
So good.
She is incredible. I don't think she memorized a single line.
Oh no, she made up so much.
I think she just fucking said whatever the hell she wanted in that movie. And honestly, they're all bangers. They're incredible. Mm-hmm. We looked at the reviews for these movie. For this movie, and it was like all the bad ratings were older white men. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this movie wasn't fucking written for you. Shut the fuck up, you old wrinkly whore.
For the girlies, the gays, and the theys, it's for us.
Yep. It was like, it was the satirical nature of Jane Austen.
Literally,
fuck off.
The perfect
It's not for you. For me, who loves Jane Austen films, this movie is... You know what is a rom-com? Emma. Emma is absolutely a rom-com.
It is a rom-com. I was actually, before we tangented to Austen Land, I was going to say something potentially controversial about Emma. I do think Emma, in its like original Jane Austen written state, is a rom-com. However, Clueless is on the edge for me because they changed so much of it to be high school teen drama.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those ones I watch it, and yes, the romance with Paul Rudd and with Alicia Silverstone is fantastic. We love it. But it really doesn't actually take that much of the movie. There's not that much of it.
And it's kind of weird. In my brain, it's a little weird.
We're not talking about whether it is morally okay.
Yeah.
But
I don't like that part of the movie, but the fact that Paul Rudd is being this, like, the character he's portraying in that film is so sweet. Mm-hmm. I love him so much.
I do.
He has not aged a single day.
Yeah. But because it leans so heavily, I think it's a teen, it is a high school movie first.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even you could have still had a movie if you took out the romance with him. There's still so much happening within the tension.
That's still a teen film without them.
The tension with her friend group and everything. Like, there's still so much going on.
Yeah, no, the Emma from 2020 absolutely is a rom-com.
Perfect.
My favorite scene, and I have told you this before and I will say it again, is when he gets so flustered by her and he doesn't know what to do, so he just charges into an empty room, takes off his jacket, and just lays down on the floor.
Exasperated.
And then the servant walks in and sees him and goes, nope, and walks backwards and closes the door.
Again, people who are missing out on the comedy of Jane Austen, they should watch Austen Land first. And then go back and watch Emma, Pride and Prejudice, all
I disagree. I feel like...
You think so? Well, I'm saying if they don't understand it, the jokes.
That's fair. Like, it helps kind of introduce it. Yeah, because if you've seen Pride and Prejudice and you're like, yeah, it's an old period piece. Yeah. I don't get it. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, watch it with me. I will change your mind.
We will pause it every 2 seconds.
I'm going to ruin you. Secondly, you're going to love it.
Analyze the language, and I'll tell you why this is a joke.
I'm telling you, Jessica and I don't think had a singular minute where we were quiet watching that movie together because there's so many little points and it's just so well performed and well acted and subtle. It's just incredible.
Half of the comedy is in expressions and like body movements and it's just so
There is
subtle.
a reason why Keira Knightley is the period piece queen. There is a reason. And she's incredible. I'm so sorry. I just really needed to make sure we talked about Austen Land.
Well, no, we were definitely going to.
That movie changed my life.
Yeah. That's also... Again, we took a break. We said we weren't going to talk about necessarily which one, like, which we liked and which we didn't. But I'm telling you, everybody needs to watch that
Austen
movie.
Land.
And you need to watch it twice. Because there is a twist, and the second time...
The plot twist will change you as a person.
You need to watch for all the subtle things that lead up to the twist. Because
I want to watch it, Jessica!
There's background things that tell you that you just don't notice the first time you watch it. It's incredible.
I'm telling you, it's like introducing someone to Star Wars for the first time who doesn't know the I am your father bit.
Oh, it's
like,
a great twist.
Getting to watch, it's like Jessica was getting to watch me discover that for the first time. She was watching me as the plot twist occurred. I could watch her being like, yes, good. She is suffering as she should.
I loved it. Oh,
that was incredible.
It was so good. Yeah, so I think Pride and Prejudice, I mean, I say yes, but it's a period piece that is a rom-com. So it's not a rom-com first. But I do think it is a rom-com.
Yeah. It has the subgenre covered.
Because I don't think like period piece really sometimes counts as a genre. It's the setting. That's the time. That's the where, that's the when, but it's not the what. Just because it's a period piece, like that's not, I feel like it's not the same as if it's a quest movie or an action movie.
Yeah. Well, and how many freaking Shakespeare plays are rom-coms ultimately?
Oh, yeah, so many.
And then
so many adaptations, too.
And then used to turn into 10 Things I Hate About You.
She's the Man.
Absolutely a rom-com.
Mm-hmm. She's the Man, also.
Yes, another one.
They are
Any
rom-coms.
movie Amanda Bynes was in was most of the time a rom-com.
For the most part, yeah. Except for the one that I made you watch that really fucked you up for a minute. The one where she goes to England.
Was that the daddy movie?
Yeah, Colin Firth.
No! I'm sensitive, Jessica!
Oh, but it's so good.
It was a good one.
Oh
my God.
What a Girl Wants.
What a Girl Wants, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, that one fucked me up. I told someone the other day, one of my friends from work, I was like, listen, I'm a absolute baby when it comes to a precious father-daughter moment, and that movie is nothing but precious father-daughter moments.
It's so good. I love springing movies like that on you, unbeknownst. I'm sorry, we just did it with Whip It, too.
Oh, Whip It was so good. Absolutely just a teen coming-of-age film, but it was incredible.
Oh, yeah, not saying
we gotta watch Stick It.
Yes.
Now we gotta watch Stick It, which I have seen, but it's incredible. So
those two, Whip It and Stick It, are not rom-coms.
I actually really like coming-of-age films. Yeah. I feel like in the list of things I like to watch, it's the period dramas, rom-coms, coming-of-age movies. Those are my 3 favorite genres, and most of Disney's catalog is coming of age.
I also would say, though,
no matter how you wrap it, it's a coming of age film.
Richard and I almost had he helped me prep for this a little bit because we had a discussion. Granted, again, his discussion is very different
rom-coms without
than mine, but because he hasn't watched as many and analyzed them as heavily, obviously, as we have.
Oh yeah, no, we're psycho.
But he was like, "Are Disney movies rom-coms?" And I was like, "No." And then he was like, well, what about, he couldn't think of the title of it at first, but it brings up an interesting point, though. There's 2 movies. One of them...
Well, technically, The Princess Diaries is Disney, so...
Yes, but this is different. Princess Diaries 1 is not a rom-com. Princess Diaries 2 is a rom-com.
Yes. Yes. Distinctly different.
Yeah, easy. Done and done.
One is coming of age, and one is a rom-com. It's perfect symmetry.
It's perfect. And they make sense back to back.
Yeah.
But, so that is different. But if we're talking about, like, the 2 that came up were Enchanted, which I would like, that's a musical first.
Ooh.
For me.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that is a musical first, that is...
Which is most Disney films.
So overarching. So. Yeah. But Ella Enchanted.
Once again, my girl, Anne Hathaway, out here killing it.
But that one I had trouble with. I was like... Is that a rom-com?
So I would like to say also based on a book.
Yeah.
But the book they base it on is not a rom-com and is not a romantic comedy.
Okay.
But they did make it, I would say it is.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think of all the elements. Because I was like, it is kind of a quest, but there is romance. And I was like,
There is comedic tension between the 2 main characters.
I mean, I love anything that starts basically enemies to lovers. Please, give it to me.
Yeah.
Please. I love it.
And the weird early 2000s, late 90s fantasy setting. Love her.
But yeah, because
love her.
It leads very similar to me in tone to what's the other one? The other Cinderella movie with Drew Barrymore that I couldn't remember the name.
Ever After.
Ever After. That one I don't think.
No, that one's
definitely more drama. Oh, it's great though. But then also it's like that
good.
one and Stardust. I feel like Ella Enchanted is in the middle. And I feel like on either end, those 2 are not rom-coms. Because again, Stardust is so heavily quest driven. Yes. And Ever After is a romance drama.
Well, and I don't feel like there's any comedic tension between the characters. Like they have a couple of quibs.
In Ever After?
No, in Stardust.
Oh, I feel like there is. They're yelling at each other all the time.
Well, that's fair. No, well, there's sexual tension for sure, but I don't think it's like
comedic.
I don't think it's comedic, if that makes sense. Like all the stuff I laugh at is like the stuff going on around them.
I mean, their first,
but they do have a couple
first
of quibs.
meet and everything is pretty pretty comedic.
They do have a couple of quibs.
And then he basically kidnaps her.
Yeah, so there's that. I forgive it. Ben Barnes is in the film. It's
That's
okay.
why you're forgiving it because of Ben Barnes and not because of Charlie Cox. Not even because of Henry Cavill.
I keep forgetting he's in that movie.
Not even because of little drag queen De Niro.
I always forget how fucking stacked that movie is.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, everybody says, because I know we have both seen these things being conversed about on Twitter, and everybody says, we need a Charlie Cox rom-com. And everybody's like, well, there's Stardust. And we're like, that's not a rom-com.
It's not enough, no.
It's not a rom-com.
And he needs to make it now. Now that he's done Daredevil, I think it would be so much better. I also need Paul Rudd to make some more. King, come back. Please. Who was it that I said should be doing more rom-coms? There's one person that Chris Evans needs to. Chris Evans is doing a rom-com. He's doing one with what's her face from Knives Out.
Oh, well, this is
just
one of those
released the
things
trailer
though
for
too.
it.
Sometimes I would love to see actors come back to them that did the bad ones. I don't know. I was thinking of
Heath Ledger.
Oh well,
I want more Heath Ledger rom-coms.
Possible. I'm sorry.
God damn it.
I would love to see Charlie Cox in, I'm going to say, another period piece / rom-com. Although the thing he was in was not a rom-com. But I showed you those clips from Boardwalk Empire where he has a romance storyline with Margaret.
He'd be so good, dude.
Dude, especially now that he has, for Daredevil, perfected all of those minute little like facial expressions and movements.
He gets it now.
Please.
He's not a child anymore. Please. He's finesse.
And that's what I was about to say though, because when you said Chris Evans, I was like, Chris Evans has done some rom-coms and he wasn't that good. But now that he's refined a little bit as an actor,
yeah,
it might be better because he did What's Your Number and it wasn't that good. Lindsay loves it, but for me, it is not great.
I can't remember who the actor is that I'm thinking of. That really upsets me because I feel like
sorry.
there was another one that I've been harping, being like, this person needs to do rom-coms. They'd be super good at it.
Is it
honestly
homie from Austin Land?
No. No. It's something we watched recently.
Is it Pedro Pascal?
Maybe it's Paul Rudd. No, but he would be really good in one. He'd be great.
Just because I'm trying to think of people who are everywhere
What was that one we watched? The Holiday. First of all. Incredible.
But that also brings up an argument. Is it a Christmas movie first?
No.
I think it is. I'm very unlikely to watch that movie any other time of year.
I mean, okay, that's fair. But, like, I guess there's a Christmas vibe to it. You're right.
It's literally Christmas.
Yeah, but there can be things that take place at Christmas that I'm just like, okay,
that's one
but
of those
the vibe's
ones,
not there.
I'm more likely to watch that than any other Christmassy movie.
There's no Santa Claus moment in the movie, so, like...
That's fair. There is a lot of Christmas music, though, and that's the thing. That it's because I don't like Christmas that much. Christmas music, when I'm any other time of year, I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, but one of it's Bop to the Top for me. That is an incredibly good rom-com. Jack Black, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, perfect.
I love him.
Jude Law and Cameron Diaz's meet cute. Absolutely adorable.
It's so good. I wish I liked Cameron Diaz more.
I know. That's the character she's trying to play, though. You know? And
no, I just mean overall.
I know, but in that one, even her character is pretty unlikable. It is what it is.
Jude Law in a rom-com. Woo!
It was good. He's quite a bit older now, though, and now he's not necessarily playing the attractive character anymore.
Yeah, now he's playing villains.
Yeah. I mean, hey, go off, King. I still love to see it. What were we talking about before the holiday? We were talking about something, and my brain was going to go somewhere, and I lost it.
Actors we wanted to see in rom-coms. I feel like we're missing a big one that we both have harped on.
This is the problem.
I can't think of who it is.
Yeah. Shit.
I know. I'm trying to go through the list of, like, major TV shows and movies I've watched recently, because it's somebody big that we're like, they would be so good in rom-coms, but rom-coms aren't popular right now, so they're not making them. So this person's never going to be in one, but it's going to break my heart.
I mean, it's not Jake Johnson, but I would like to see Jake Johnson in a rom-com.
I know you would. I know.
Because otherwise, I just have to watch the entirety of all 7 seasons of New Girl.
Again and again. Nah, you just have to watch season 2, girl.
No, I still have to watch the whole thing. I am saving my New Girl rewatch until after Ted Lasso and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel have ended, because I'm gonna fucking need it. I'm gonna fucking need it. I would actually, I mean, now that we're going into that too, for me, I would love to see Roy Kent, his actor, in a rom-com now. Brett Goldstein. I think he's absolutely fantastic. We're trying to think of men.
I know. I'm upset that I can't remember.
Who are men?
Okay, so another thing we haven't talked about, which I think was actually one I didn't expect to like and ended up really enjoying, was Love Actually.
I hate Love Actually.
I actually enjoyed it. That's the one with Steve Carell in it, right? Is that Love Actually? Or am I getting confused?
What are you talking about? Crazy Stupid Love?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
No,
sorry.
Love Actually is
that's
the
why
Christmas
I was like,
one.
I thought that's what that movie was.
No, Love Actually is the Christmas anthology. Or not anthology. The one where there's all the different stories and they all are playing next to each other.
Fuck that.
Fuck that movie.
Crazy Stupid Love. That's what I meant.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love is
with Emma Stone in
actually fantastic. Yes.
Ryan Gosling. That movie's great.
And again, there are other things going on, but that one also, it's a like triple rom-com at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in that movie.
Granted, we do not want or need the story between the prepubescent boy and, you know, the high school
Don't
senior.
like that one.
We don't need that. I don't want it. I hate it. And I hate...
It's weird and uncomfortable.
God damn it. Why? When there is a rom-com woman named Jessica, why is it that? Why is that what I get?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, though, I got New Girl, so I can't complain that much, okay? It's fine. There's got to be some balance.
I do want you to know that every time a movie has an Alice in it, it's like a jump scare.
Yeah.
Because my name is just so uncommonly used in media, because Alice in Wonderland is like the main thing everyone thinks of. So when I'm watching movies or TV shows and they go, "Hey, Alice," I'm like, huh.
Well, I just love how, even with Plus One, I forgot the character's name was Alice, and they said it, and you were like, what? And I was like, oh, yeah.
I know, it was like, huh.
I'm sorry.
I've been jump scared.
Oh, my God.
I am scrolling through a list of the movies. I forgot we watched Down with Love.
Isn't that adorable?
Also was great. Really liked
again, that's one of those ones where, again, tonally, like, it can be batshit crazy. In the best way. And I don't mean, you know, like, fucked up crazy. That one, that monologue.
That movie is camp.
Yes.
It's incredibly camp, and I love it.
It's so good. That's one I recommend to everybody. Also, any movie where you get to hear Ewan McGregor sing, even just a little bit. Even though it was an end credit sing.
Moulin Rouge, fucking chill.
Please.
All right, chill. If that's not a rom-com, we're not talking about it.
It's not a rom-com. Definitely not. If it is too sad, it is not a rom-com. I wrote that down.
Can't be sad.
Which even is why, because in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, there is a funeral. Somebody dies in the middle of that film, and it's a character that you like quite a bit. And it's just a real tonal downshift. You know, like it's...
Not for me.
They can be serious, they can tackle serious issues, but I don't want to be, like, ugly crying in the middle of it, because this is one of the things that I remembered. Fucking Miss Mojo videos constantly try to say that, like, those stupid time travel movies, About Time and, like, The Time Traveler's Wife, are rom-coms. And I'm like, bitch, no. Because especially, I know, I haven't seen About Time, but I don't want to, because I know he has to choose between basically like keeping his relationship and his family or saving his fucking father, Bill Nighy's life. And I know they have a very serious, very sad, like, I'm gonna cry because he dies talk. And I don't need that.
Nope.
I don't want it.
The end of the movie, the end of a rom-com for me should be like, I'm glad I laughed a lot, I cried a little, I feel good. I should not get to the end of a rom-com and be like, damn, that was devastating.
Yes. That's not what it's about. Tonally, that is wrong. And that's when it leads more into, like, a romance. If there is something that makes me, like, ugly sob in the middle of it, I'm not here for it, okay?
No.
That's not what it's about.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I just finished scrolling through that list, and they had Princess Bride at 14.
Not a rom-com.
It's not a fucking rom-com, you bitch.
If you want to put it in
Also,
romance,
the number one rom-com is When Harry Met Sally, which I've never seen.
I don't like it.
Made in Manhattan was nowhere on that list.
Please, that's a perfect rom-com.
Vanity Fair, what the fuck are you doing?
I haven't seen that one in a really long time. Maybe I've only seen it once, I think. But yeah.
What?
Oh, well, there is a movie called Vanity Fair. I thought you were talking about...
No.
Like, talking about the
No, the article is from Vanity Fair.
No, Maid in Manhattan is literally a perfect rom-com. But yeah, Princess Bride, not a rom-com. You know what else I wrote down? Because we talked briefly, because I mentioned Jennifer Coolidge. There is a subset of, some people consider them rom-coms, but they're not. And I've seen someone else talk about this on Twitter, and I cannot remember, not Twitter, TikTok. I cannot remember who they were, but where it's not a rom-com, it's Boss and Bangs. That is a different thing. So
different vibe.
Yeah, like Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada.
Trying to get it out so fast.
Do you use Prada?
Devil Wears Prada. Morning Glory. I would also count Legally Blonde as a Boss and Bangs.
No, yeah, Legally Blonde is not a rom-com.
No.
Because her main conflict with him ends within like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Of the movie. It's like, over it.
It switches. Because that
the big moment at the end of the film is not her getting together with him. Mm-hmm. The big moment is her having that beautiful dialogue in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Not a rom-com.
No. Hilarious, though.
It's true. There's also the ones where there's a couple where it's like they're already broken up at the beginning, and some people count them as a rom-com, and I don't think, like literally the breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. They spend half of the movie trying to get the other person to leave the apartment. There is so much terrible tension.
I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, they're physically trying to make each other uncomfortable.
Is that the one where it's like, you don't want to go to the ball game, and then it's like turns into a huge fight? Fuck. There should not be a huge fucking argument.
It's like they're
as the main plot point. I don't enjoy that.
There can
as
be.
As someone who does not like conflict like that, no, there can
movie.
Be no shouting. I don't want it.
That entire movie is conflict.
I don't need toxic, annoying male behavior in my movie, okay? I want man learning about himself and growing behavior. Yes. That's what we're looking for.
Well, that's like people also put, like, Silver Linings Playbook on the things of rom-coms.
No.
And I'm like, no, they're yelling at each other, like, the entire time.
That's not funny at all.
No.
That's not funny.
I hate it.
Come on.
Yeah.
What's y'all's definition of funny? Because that ain't it.
There is one exception, though, that I feel like where they're broken up at the beginning. And then actually, I honestly don't remember who gets together with who at the end. But have you seen It's Complicated with Meryl Streep, Alec Baldwin, Steve Martin? There's a love triangle. Because Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin used to be married and they got divorced. And then Meryl Streep kind of starts dating Steve Martin, but then also like her and Alec Baldwin kind of rekindle and have a little like fling thing.
So
also.
The only movie that's of that description is that I've seen with Meryl Streep is Mamma Mia.
Which is top tier.
Absolutely incredible. Wish I had been there on set.
Uh-huh. Oh, again, that's one of our dream places. But like, God. It's Complicated is the only one I feel like that's acceptable for me, where it's like they're broken up already. And then there's will they get back together? I honestly don't remember if they do. I think Kathryn Hahn and John Krasinski are two of their children in the movie.
That's so funny!
It's really good. It's really good.
That's hilarious.
And that goes on to, like, also the rom-coms can be for any age group. Something's Gotta Give, also incredible rom-com. Yes, they're in their, like, 50s. Fantastic. Must Love Dogs.
I feel like...
Love it.
I feel like this is a good way to look at, to view life through the lens of film, is that if we only write love stories for 20-somethings, if you haven't found love by the time you're 30, you feel like you fucked up. So I feel like I enjoy movies that are for all age groups because it's like, you can still find what you're looking for as you age. It's fine. It's going to happen. Or even ones where it's like the husband or the wife died and now they're single again and they just don't know what to do and they just happen across someone. Like, that story for me will kill me every time. I will flatline in that movie.
So sad. But those ones are on the edge for me sometimes too, because then they're very sad and I'm like, can I handle that?
Well, I wouldn't call them rom-coms necessarily. True. But some of them can be. Some of them can be quite funny. But I have a friend who's turning 28 this year and is single and is like, well, guess I'm gonna be alone forever. And I'm like, you're only 28. Relax.
Please, you're about to get into your like best bitch
peak
era.
rom-com era. Like, come on.
The 30s are the time where you literally like don't care anymore and reinvent yourself and figure out who you are. Like, it's great. You'll be fine. You will be fine,
dude.
fuck all that, like, age shit.
Yes, tell me, great, wise, and older Jessica, all of your secrets. I must absorb them as the young 20-something in your life.
I mean, I'm sorry. When did Richard and
I only got 3 years left in the 20-somethings. I gotta utilize them.
It's still weird to me that Richard and I met when we were 22. But again, I also had that mindset where I was like, I'm gonna be alone forever. And it's so I'm fucking 22. It's so stupid. What's wrong with our brains?
There's a lot of pressure, you know?
That's
part of it.
For fuck's sake.
And that's why we enjoy watching these movies, because it makes that pressure seem a little less intense.
I know, but then I know also you have trouble sometimes with the secondhand embarrassment.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It's so bad. Did you like that TikTok I sent you of the guy where it's like me watching movies and my husband getting secondhand embarrassment, and he's standing in the corner. He's like, I can't fucking
hands
watch
over
this.
his eyes, like I can't fucking take it.
And my favorite thing in the world was when I saw someone stitched that video and was like, so I also had really bad secondhand embarrassment, and then my 6-year-old niece said, it's just a movie, and then I stopped experiencing it.
Fuck you.
And I'm like, great. That's how I got over my depression, too. A 6-year-old told me to just stop being depressed.
Just
great.
Smile.
Fucker. Shut up.
Back to a fundamental misunderstanding from men. Judd Apatow.
God damn it.
What's wrong with you?
God. Listen, I need y'all to know that if I see Seth Rogen on the cover of any movie, I don't want to watch it. Yeah. Because I'm so angry at what he has made rom-coms.
Well, again,
it's not entirely his fault either. He didn't write them, but he acted in all of them.
Not all of them. Because again,
no, he did.
I will say, like, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is Judd Apatow. And I think that one is worth it as a rom-com. We haven't watched that yet. I want to watch that with you. Because Jason Segel's character is so just adorable. Also, it's so much of it is based on real life. He wrote that when he was 24, starting like based on his own life. Because there's a breakup scene in that near the beginning where he got broken up with while he was naked. That actually happened to him.
That's actually incredibly
He put
funny.
it in the script. And then also, literally in real life, he was working on a Dracula puppet musical. And he showed it to Judd Apatow and was like, hey, I kind of want to make this. Like, what do you think? And Judd Apatow was like, never show this to anyone. But then he put it in the movie. So the Dracula puppet musical is in this movie. Jason Segel is a Muppet Man, and it gets put into this. It's incredible.
You know what? I respect him for that. Even though his Muppet movie wasn't really that good, I still enjoyed it to some extent. So
that's not
shout out to the Muppets, man.
I don't think it's his.
We're back to the Muppets, Jessica. You told me we weren't supposed to do this anymore.
I can't help myself. Because you know what?
God damn it! You sent me that sad-ass Muppet TikTok this morning. You bitch!
I told Richard you were gonna come for me about that. I did. Because it made me cry last night at like midnight. There was a TikTok about this little puppet named Pinky that somebody was shipping to somebody else, like to go to their new home, and the puppet was talking as they were putting him in his little box, and he was like, I'm kind of nervous. It's okay. And I started bawling. And then I sent it to Alice.
How dare you send that to me so early in the morning? I am sensitive.
Can we talk about the Muppet romantic subplot between Miss Piggy and Kermit in Muppet Treasure Island?
Oh my god. Bro.
Love led us here.
Well, if you'd married me. I was a pig. He was a lady.
Okay, you know what? Here's it. Hold on.
What? Where is this going?
It's been 57 minutes, and we just kind of went into hilarity zone for a hot second.
We've taken a dive.
It felt like a natural end, almost.
Well, Jessica, I feel like we've reached kind of a pause here in the conversation, and as
we lost it.
As for we're doing a part 1, part 2 potentially here. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do the outro here. If you feel like you've only heard half the conversation, don't worry. There's more.
Hell yeah. We can't stop ourselves.
So don't worry about it. There's gonna be. Jessica and I have literally spent 4 to 5 hours in Discord calls discussing our love and definitions of rom-coms and things. So there's more to come.
Oh, definitely.
Stay tuned for 2 weeks from now where we drop the second half of this episode, and you can have more rom-com in your life. Mm-hmm. But again, as for right now,
we're two birds,
Jessica,
one brain.
Thank you for one opinion, one truth. What the fuck did you say at the beginning? I forgot.
2 birds, 1 brain, 1 truth.
So once again, we devolved into Muppets, which means we have to end the episode. But thank you all for being here. I will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.